The crayon drawing shakes in my hands. For stick figures. A tall man. A woman with dark curly hair. A small child between them. And in the corner, barely fitting on the page, another woman. Apron carefully colored blue, smile wide as the sky. I drew you a family, Lily whispers, her 3-year-old voice proud and certain. Alexander Kane, billionaire, CEO, the man whose penthouse I clean, stares at the picture like it's evidence of something he's been accused of. His jaw works. His hands, always so controlled during video conferences and board meetings, tremble slightly as he takes the drawing from my daughter. Lily, baby, we need to go, I say quickly, reaching for her hand. Mr. Kane is busy. Why did you draw this? He asks Lily, ignoring me completely. She points to each figure with chubby fingers still sticky from breakfast. That's you. That's Mama. That's me. And that's Mama again because she works very hard and should be in the picture twice. His breath catches. Actually catches. I've worked for Alexander Kane for 6 months. I've seen him fire executives without blinking. I've watched him negotiate billion-dollar deals from his living room while barely raising his voice. I've observed the careful, lonely architecture of his life. The penthouse that's more museum than home. The meals he eats standing at the counter. The silence that fills every corner. I've never seen him cry, but he's close now. I'm so sorry, Mr. Kane. I start, pulling Lily toward me. She doesn't understand. Keep it, he says hoarsely. Please, I'd like to keep it. 6 months earlier, the penthouse occupies the entire 42nd floor of the Kane Tower in Lower Manhattan. 12,000 square feet. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Hudson. Furniture that costs more than I'll earn in 5 years. Empty. Completely, perfectly empty. I stand in the doorway with my daughter on my hip, my cleaning supplies in one hand, wondering if I've made a terrible mistake. The agency said Mr. Kane wanted someone who could work mornings, 7 to noon, 5 days a week. Someone reliable. Someone discreet. Someone who wouldn't mind that he rarely spoke and preferred staff who knew how to be invisible. What they didn't mention was that Mr. Kane was 34 and looked like loneliness had been carved into his features by an artist who specialized in beautiful, broken things. Ms. Rivera. His voice startles me. He's appeared from somewhere, dressed in a suit despite it being 7 a.m. His dark hair is perfectly styled. His expression is perfectly neutral. Everything about him screams control. The agency said you had a child. Yes, sir. Lily. She's 3. The agency said. They said it wouldn't be a problem. It isn't. He glances at Lily briefly, then away, like looking at her hurts. She can play in the media room while you work. There are toys there. Previous staff members' grandchildren. This surprises me. The penthouse looks untouched by anything as chaotic as children. I'll keep her quiet, Mr. Kane. Alexander. He corrects me automatically. No one calls me Mr. Kane in my home. But the way he says home sounds like he's describing a hotel. I learn his patterns quickly. Alexander wakes at 5, works out in his private gym, showers, dresses, begins taking calls by 6:30. When I arrive at 7, he's already deep into his first meeting. Always video, always in his office, door closed. He emerges around 9 for coffee. Black, no sugar. We don't speak beyond good morning and I'll be out of your way. Lily, who fears nothing and reads people better than most adults, is fascinated by him. Why is this sad man so sad? She asks on day 3. He's not sad, baby. He's busy. Busy sad, she decides. Like Mama was before we moved here. She's not wrong. I was busy sad after her father left. After I lost our apartment. After I spent 6 months couch surfing with a toddler while working 3 jobs. This position, steady hours, good pay, benefits, it's salvation. I can't risk it by being anything other than invisible. But Lily has different ideas. On day 7, she escapes the media room while I'm cleaning the kitchen. I find her standing in the hallway outside Alexander's office, listening to him on a conference call. I rush to grab her, but she turns to me with wide eyes. He sounds different when he talks to them. She whispers. Cold. Like winter. She's right. His business voice is ice. Efficient. Detached. Nothing like the careful politeness he uses with me. On day 12, Lily leaves him a drawing. Just a simple sun and house in crayon on copy paper. She puts it on the kitchen counter where he gets his coffee. I find it later in his office, tucked into a folder on his desk. On day 20, she starts saying "Good morning, Mr. Alexander," whenever she sees him. He nods, doesn't smile, but something in his expression softens. I notice other things too. The photos he keeps face down in his bedroom drawer. A woman, beautiful, laughing. A small boy, maybe 4, with Alexander's eyes. The child's room he keeps locked. The one I'm not allowed to clean. The way he flinches when he hears Lily laugh. The grief that hangs over this penthouse like fog. On day 43, I make a decision that will change everything. I'm cleaning Alexander's office when I find the obituary. It's fallen behind his desk. Old, worn from being handled. Caroline Kane, 29, and son James Kane, 4, killed in automobile accident. 2 years ago. My chest constricts. Everything makes horrible sense. The emptiness, the silence, the way he looks at Lily like she's proof of something he lost. I replace the obituary carefully. I don't mention it, but I start to understand that I'm not just cleaning a penthouse. I'm tiptoeing around a mausoleum where a man has buried himself alive with his grief. On day 90, Lily brings him the family drawing, and Alexander Kane, who hasn't smiled in 2 years, looks at my daughter and asks, "Can you draw me another one? Another picture?" Lily's face lights up like Christmas. "What kind?" Alexander kneels down. This billionaire CEO in his $3,000 suit crouching to eye level with my daughter on his pristine marble floor. The gesture is so unexpected, so unguarded, that I freeze with a dust cloth in my hand. "Whatever you'd like," he says quietly. Lily considers this with the seriousness of a Supreme Court justice. "I could draw you a dragon, or a castle, or a happy tree." A happy tree sounds perfect. She runs to get her crayons. I'm left alone with Alexander in the vast living room. He stands slowly, like gravity weighs more on him than other people. "Mr. Kane, Alexander, you don't have to, I know." He looks at the family drawing still in his hands. "She put you in it twice. She's 3. Logic isn't her strong suit." "No." His thumb traces the figure of me in the corner. "She put you in twice because you're both her mother and her security. You're everything to her. She knows that, even at 3. The observation is so tender, so knowing, that tears prick my eyes. "She shouldn't have bothered you with." She didn't bother me. He meets my gaze. For the first time in 90 days, really meets it. She reminded me that life exists outside these windows. Something shifts after that morning. Alexander starts emerging from his office more. He takes coffee breaks in the living room instead of his desk. He asks Lily about her drawings. "That's a very purple cat," he observes one day. "Purple is happy," Lily informs him. "Yellow is excited. Blue is sleepy." "What's red?" "Brave." She hands him a red crayon. "You should draw something brave." I watch, astonished, as Alexander Kane sits on his couch and draws a shaky stick figure. He shows it to Lily. "That's good," she encourages. But he needs a smile. Brave people smile. Alexander adds a smile. His hand shakes slightly. Lily nods approval. Now he's very brave. I learn more about Alexander in the following weeks than the previous 3 months. He was a programmer-turned entrepreneur. Built his company from nothing. Married Caroline at 26. Had James at 29. Lost them both in a rainy night collision with a drunk driver when he was 32. He tells me this in pieces. Over coffee one morning when Lily is absorbed in coloring. His voice is flat, reciting facts, but his eyes betray everything. "I was supposed to drive them that night," he says, "to Caroline's mother's house. But I had a meeting that ran late. So she drove. She and James. And a man who'd had 6 beers decided his convenience was worth more than their lives." "I'm sorry," I whisper. The words are inadequate. Everything is inadequate. I sold our house. Bought this place. Kept nothing except what fit in that locked room. I told myself I was starting over. But I was just building a very expensive grave. "Is that what you want? To stay buried?" He looks at me. Really looks. I don't know what I want anymore. I only know what I lost. Lily helps him remember. She doesn't know she's doing it. She's just being herself. Curious, affectionate, convinced that everyone needs more color in their lives. She brings Alexander flowers from the bodega down the street. Dandelions, mostly, weeds, but she presents them like roses. He puts them in water, keeps them on his desk until they wilt. She tells him knock-knock jokes she doesn't understand. He laughs. Actually laughs. The sound is rusty, unpracticed, but real. She asks him to read to her during my lunch break. He reads. Haltingly at first, Then with more confidence. His voice cracks on certain words, family, home, love, but he doesn't stop. You're good with her, I say one afternoon, watching him help Lily build a block tower. I'm out of practice. He places a block carefully. I used to do this with James. Every evening. He'd make towers and I'd make sound effects when they fell. What sound effects? Like this. He knocks over the tower and makes an elaborate crashing noise. Lily shrieks with laughter. Again. They rebuild and destroy towers for 20 minutes. Alexander's face, usually so controlled, is alive with something I haven't seen before. Joy. Painful and uncertain, but joy. On day 136, Alexander asks me to stay late. I'll pay overtime, he says quickly. There's something I need to do. And I like company. If that's appropriate. Of course. After Lily falls asleep in the media room, Alexander leads me to the locked room. His hand trembles on the doorknob. You don't have to, I say softly. I do. He opens the door. It's a child's bedroom. Perfectly preserved. Toys on shelves. Books alphabetized. A small bed with a spaceship comforter. Photos of a little boy with dark curls and his father's serious eyes. Alexander walks to the bed. Sits. Runs his hand over the comforter. I haven't been in here since the funeral, he whispers. I kept it locked because seeing it hurt too much. But keeping it locked hurt too. I couldn't win. I sit beside him. Not touching. Just present. Lily asked me today what heaven is like, he continues. She heard someone mention it at the park. I didn't know what to say. Caroline would have known. She was better at those questions. What did you tell her? I said it's where people go when their bodies stop working, but their love doesn't. She seemed satisfied. He picks up a toy car from the nightstand. James loved cars. We'd spend hours racing them, making engine noises. He'd always win. I'd pretend to be devastated. He knew you were pretending? Absolutely. He'd pat my shoulder and say, "You'll win next time, Daddy." Very solemn. Very certain. Alexander's voice breaks. I'd give everything I own to lose to him one more time. I take his hand. He grips it like a lifeline. We sit in his dead son's room while the city glitters below and my daughter sleeps in grief, does what it always does, persists and transforms and demands to be felt. I'm scared, Alexander admits. Of letting go. Of moving forward. Of dishonoring them by being happy again. Being happy wouldn't dishonor them, I say gently. It would honor them by proving their love made you strong enough to survive losing them. He cries then, quietly. 2 years of tears he's been holding back. I stay with him until he's empty. Until the grief has moved through him and left something like peace in its wake. Thank you, he whispers. For what? For bringing life back into this tomb. 3 months later, the penthouse is different. Not renovated. Not redecorated. Just inhabited. Lily's drawings cover the refrigerator. Alexander's laptop appears on the dining table instead of only his office. Laughter happens in rooms that forgot what joy sounded like. He unlocked James's room. Keeps it clean, but no longer forbidden. Sometimes I find him in there, reading James's favorite books aloud to Lily. Did your little boy like this story? She asks. He loved it. He'd make me read it 3 times every night. That's a lot of reading. I treasured every word. Lily pats his hand. You can read it to me 3 times too. I don't mind. And he does. Alexander starts joining us for lunch. We eat sandwiches in the living room, him in his work clothes, me in my cleaning uniform, Lily chattering about everything and nothing. It's informal, easy, nothing like the careful distance we maintained before. I have a board meeting next week, he mentions one day. They want me back in the office full time, resuming normal operations. That's good, I say, meaning it. I told them no. I blink. What? I built this company because I love creating things, solving problems. But somewhere it became about proving something. About working so hard I couldn't feel. He watches Lily color. I don't want to live like that anymore. What do you want? I'm still figuring that out. He smiles slightly. But I know it involves more lunches like this. More terrible knock-knock jokes. More reasons to leave my office. On day 200, Alexander makes an announcement. I'm stepping back as CEO. Taking chairman role only. The board is livid, but they'll survive. He looks nervous. I wanted you to hear it from me first. Why would the board care what I think? Because you're the reason I'm doing this. You and Lily. You showed me that life is happening now, not in conference calls or quarterly reports. I've been chasing success while missing everything that matters. My heart does something complicated. Alexander, I'm also creating a foundation in James and Caroline's names for families who've lost children. Counseling services, financial support, grief resources. His voice strengthens. I can't bring them back, but I can help others survive what I barely survived. They'd be proud of you. I hope so. He hesitates. There's something else. The foundation needs a director. Someone who understands loss, who sees people, really sees them, who knows that the smallest gestures, a drawing, a dandelion, showing up, those things matter most. You'll find someone perfect. I already have. He meets my eyes. You, Maria. If you want it. I stare at him. I'm a maid. You're someone who rebuilt her life after it shattered, who raised a daughter alone, who brought hope into a house that had forgotten what it looked like. He leans forward. You're exactly who this needs. And I'll pay for any education or training you want. You'll have full support, full autonomy. I'm offering this because you're qualified, not because I'm your employer. Tears blur my vision. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it. I'll think about it. Lily looks up from her coloring. Mama's crying, but happy crying. Those are different. Alexander grins. They are different. Very good observation. She returns to her drawing, satisfied. I take the position. It terrifies me. The responsibility, the visibility, the leap from cleaning houses to directing a foundation. But Alexander meant what he said. He funds my nonprofit management training, introduces me to his contacts, steps back and lets me lead. The foundation launches 6 months later. We help 40 families the first year, provide counseling, cover funeral costs, offer ongoing support groups. I hire staff who've experienced loss themselves. We build something real, something that transforms pain into purpose. Alexander attends every event, writes every check, but he insists it's my vision, my leadership. I just fund it, he says. You make it matter. Lily turns. 5. We celebrate at the penthouse, the 3 of us, plus foundation staff, plus a few of Alexander's friends who've slowly re-entered his life. The space that was once a museum is now filled with balloons and laughter and chocolate cake. Make a wish, everyone shouts. Lily squeezes her eyes shut, blows out her candles with ferocious determination. What did you wish for, someone asks. Can't tell. Won't come true. She grins. But it's a good one. Later, after guests leave and Lily crashes from sugar, Alexander and I clean up. Thank you, I say, for all of this. The foundation, the opportunity, the trust. Thank you for saving my life. I didn't, you did. He stops washing dishes, turns to face me. I was drowning in grief disguised as success. You threw me a rope. You and Lily. You reminded me that love doesn't end when people die. It transforms. It finds new expressions. Like a foundation. Like a foundation. Like friendship. Like family. He pauses. I know this might be inappropriate, employer and employee, complicated history, but I need to say it. You and Lily, you've become family to me. Real family. The kind that shows up and stays. And if that makes you uncomfortable, it doesn't. I touch his hand. You're family to us too. Relief floods his face. Really? Really? Lily asks about you constantly. Draws you into every picture. Saves her best jokes for you. I smile. You're stuck with us, Alexander Kane. Best thing that's ever happened to me. We don't date. We don't rush into anything complicated. We just live. Adjacent lives that overlap in meaningful ways. Alexander cuts his hours. Spends more time at the foundation. Becomes a regular fixture at Lily's school events and playground visits. He's not replacing her father. She barely remembers him. But he's becoming something just as important. Someone who shows up. Someone who cares. I move out of my tiny apartment into a modest house the foundation helps me afford. Alexander insists on buying Lily's bedroom furniture. An investment in future masterpieces. He jokes about her artwork. We have dinner together twice a week. His place or mine. Nothing formal. Just family meals. Sometimes we talk about James and Caroline. Sometimes Alexander cries. But he's learning that tears aren't failure. They're love with nowhere else to go. I'll always miss them, he tells me one evening. But I'm learning to live alongside the missing. To make room for both grief and joy. That's all any of us can do. You've done more than that. You've built an entire life from wreckage. So have you. He considers this. I'm trying. Some days are better than others. That's how it works. 2 years after Lily drew that first family picture, She draws another one. This time there are 5 figures. Alexander, me, Lily, and in the background, sketched lighter, almost translucent, a woman and a small boy. Who are they? I ask gently. James and Caroline. Lily says matter-of-factly. Mr. Alexander's family. They live in his heart now, so they should be in the picture. But smaller, because they're far away. Alexander sees the drawing and has to leave the room. When he returns, his eyes are red but peaceful. Thank you, he tells Lily, for remembering them. They're part of our family too, she says simply. All of us together. And she's right. We're an unconventional family, built from loss and loneliness and a 3-year-old's intuitive understanding that everyone needs people who see them. But we're family. The kind that shows up. The kind that stays. The kind that proves love is stronger than grief. And hope is built from the smallest gestures. A crayon drawing. A shared lunch. The courage to open locked doors. Alexander frames Lily's pictures. All of them. They line his office walls. A gallery of healing rendered in crayon and hope. Sometimes I catch him staring at them. This man who had everything and lost what mattered most. Who built walls and then let a 3-year-old knock them down with pictures and persistence. What are you thinking? I ask. That I'm grateful. For second chances. For people who don't give up on the grieving. For little girls who draw families into existence. He's right to be grateful. We all are. Because this is what love does. It survives loss, transforms pain, and builds families from the most unlikely materials. A billionaire's grief, a maid's resilience, and a child's absolute certainty that everyone deserves to be part of something beautiful. If this story touched you, if you've ever felt alone, ever lost someone, ever wondered if healing is possible, know this. It is. Not because time heals all wounds. It doesn't. But because love is creative. It finds new forms. It builds families from fragments. It turns grief into purpose and pain into connection. You don't have to heal alone. You don't have to stay locked in rooms with your loss. You can open the door. Let someone in. Let yourself be seen. And maybe, if you're very lucky, someone will hand you a crayon drawing and remind you that family isn't just what you're born into. It's what you build with the people brave enough to stay.